Shaye Cahill is a friend of the podcast and a dog lover extraordinaire. Local to Youngstown, and had a good chance to catch up with her again after our last podcast conversation, talking about Chauncey, her dog Chauncey's progress working with Team Woods Doggy Style, and Matt Woods in particular. So I just wanted to catch up with her and find out a little bit more about how he's doing, and we talked a little bit about Chauncey and some of the fun stories that the guys had running around town. So why am I sitting here talking about it? Why don't we just be about it?
Good morning, Shaye. How are you doing today?
Hey, what's going on?
Well, I wanted to take this time today and talk a little bit more about Chauncey and your journey as far as working with Matthew and Team Woods doing the training for your dog. Last time we spoke last year, it seems like a lifetime ago, seems so long ago, but you guys had recently started, and you know he was a rescue dog, and you had some issues going on. Tell me a little bit about how he was when you first got him versus now.
He was like a demon dog from the bowels of Hades. No, he was a street dog, poor dear. I don't know if my husband is convinced he was a fight dog, so is his mother. I don't know. He seems like kind of a puss to me, really, but he is very aggressive, but I do believe most of his aggression toward other animals stems from both excitement and also fear and anxiety about it. So he attacked 2 dogs in the first month that I had him, and that was hundreds of dollars in vet bills plus, makeups, and they were neighbors of my husband's mom, so that was... He still has quite a reputation about those parts.
Yeah.
I have to keep them very close to me. But that has now been about 2 years ago. And since those 2 initial incidents, there have been no others, except that a dog attacked us one day, but that was a whole other story. And I was bit, but it was totally my fault. Anyway.
One of the things I was going to ask about was Matt admits... So, some of the videos that he'll do is he takes Jax and Chauncey out running along the car, like alongside at the cemetery. So you just all the wide open face and stuff like that. And he was like, I just video a couple of weeks ago where Chauncey's first run. So did you? I heard some kind of incident or whatever when you ran with him. How did it go the first time you tried it?
The first time I ran, do you mean like in the car? Because he takes the...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Like you drive,
of course Chauncey
and you run.
ran away the first time I was there. Here's the thing about Chauncey runs away from me. That's like what he does. I guess Matthew hasn't had this experience as often, but I have visualized Chauncey's death. I mean, probably we're nearing 100 times by now. He loves chasing critters. What can I say? So in this instance, it was a flock of deer. I was videotaping. I thought I had it all on videotape, but my phone was low on battery, so when the 10% came up or whatever, it cut off the video, unfortunately, because I saw the moment that he smelled the deer. And then I saw the moment where his brain clicked and said, forget you guys, I'm going to do what I want. And he chased after the deer. And then there was this glorious moment where he was kind of in the middle of the herd. Like he got on them quick enough that they were taken aback, and then they were all running together gloriously into the woods. And then, of course, I didn't see him again for like 15 minutes, I want to say it was. Maybe it wasn't even that long. Time goes by so slowly when you're looking for your dog. So finally, we were like looking into the woods still and like calling him, and then from behind me, I hear the trotting legs, and I turn to see. He just has this smile on his face when he's done with these kind of antics, but it's just so full on, like, I am living my best life. He's so happy. And the thing is, I love him so much. And like I said, I envision him dying while he's gone. He can get hit by a car. Maybe the deer could have those big antlers and they bore him and he's bleeding out on the ground in the forest somewhere. Or, like my brain goes places. Now he doesn't have his tag because somehow or other he lost beautiful bronze handmade ID tag that I bought for him on Etsy. And so now he doesn't have a tag. So a do-gooder could come along and just be like, oh, this dog looks, abused. He has big scars on his face that he had before I met him. Oh,
the same thing, same reason you picked him up.
Yeah,
you like
maybe he belonged to somebody then. And then he just started running after a deer like an idiot. I came along. No, I hope that's not true. He was he was emaciated and he had worms and fleas and all these
things. Oh yeah, I think you guys saved him.
I'd like to believe if I've done nothing else in my many, 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 many years of living, Chauncey's life has been greatly improved by meeting me. That is like the one thing I can be sure of. I don't know if anything else has really impacted. But yeah, he seems happy. Like I said, he's living his best life. He gets to chase all the critters, but he also gets to have all the treaties and sweeties. And let me tell you, he has so many fun adventures with his friends, Matthew and Jax. He can't wait to get out the door and just do some serious cardio with his boys. They
I've been on there with them.
Destroy their quads.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
they get in there and start wrestling and it looks scary at times, but it's just so cute.
Oh, no, they're just 100%. I mean, they're like boxers, like looking at, it doesn't seem like they should hit each other that hard, but that's how they train. That's what I mean. I don't know what they're training for, but it is some serious stuff, and yeah, he really likes. And then he comes home, and gets babied, and yeah, but Matthew's really come a long way with him. Oh, go ahead.
Speaking of coming home, what was the other thing that Matt told me about? He was saying you guys were out, or he was out with him a few days ago, and I guess that there was some gunshots.
He was the third little pig.
Yeah, tell me about that with the gunshots.
Well,
because I guess there was some
little pig. Okay, this has happened to me in the same place before. There's this lovely trail by the Mahoning River. Unfortunately, it's right across the river from the police department's firing range, and often there's gunshots, which I believe Chauncey was shot in the head. I don't know it as a fact, and I could find out for $500. I could get an X-ray and know for sure, but it's like, do I want to know $500 worth? I'm pretty sure it's what happened. There's a not small, but there's a circular, we'll get a photo of his wounds. I asked him what his life was like before he met me. Do you know what he said? Rough. I said, say no more. I'll take care of you now, you poor dear. So he has he might have been shot in the head, and I didn't think that until I found him in the fall, late fall. It was getting cold. It was New Year's Eve. I went downtown Youngstown for a lovely fireworks display, more worried about him socializing with other people and possibly other dogs, not realizing that when that first firework went off, he went into such a fear state. If I had let go of the leash, he would have run away for miles and miles. He would have been, I never would have seen him again. I had to, after he physically dragged me, on the ground, dragged me 2 blocks, city blocks. Thank God no one saw it because everybody was turned the other direction looking at the fireworks. I had it was in a ditch. I crawled on top of him and I just held him down with all of my weight during the entire fireworks display, which was big because fireworks are a big thing around here. Anyway, It was awful. And we just went back for this last New Year's, and he stood there shaking, which wasn't, that's a great improvement. You know what I mean? Anyway, but the time we were talking about, we're going back to the third little pig. He was with Matthew Woods and Jax. I was at home, and he was on the trail where the gunshots can be heard from the fire department. And on that particular day, the boys were really having themselves a time, and they had some automatic weapons. So he was heading down the trail, and all of a sudden it was, right? And he was looking at Jax, and there had been a couple gunshots, so Chauncey had been apprehensive, but he had been like, come on, boy, same way I done before. You're just like this. You'd rather stay with me, and he wants to be with you, so he's like, oh, but I still don't like that sound at all. And then the automatic weapons thing happened, and Matthew had been looking forward at Jack's, and he turned around, and all he saw was like Chauncey's hindquarters just around the path and gone. And I guess it wouldn't have been too long after that when he called me and said that he'd lost Chauncey and the gunshots, and I said, no, I'll be right down. So I went down to the BNO too. And I walked down the same trail, and they were still doing the automatic weapons. And I was like, well, there's no way he's here. You know, like, he's not going to be hanging around this area. So I'll just head. We were going to, like, split up and, like, go through downtown and stuff. But I'm like, I'll just head home because he knows how to get. I thought maybe. As soon as I pulled in the driveway, there he was. He had already made it back home. He cried, wee, all the way home. Chauncey says, yeah. He said, forget this. It's funny, but he didn't die. But he could have died. I mean, there's roads.
I know. I thought about that.
You know what I mean? Like,
I thought
everything
about that when he
is
told
so
me that.
perilous. But it's also hilarious to see, like, because he, like, has on a sweater. Do you know what I mean? Because he, like, yeah, because he has no furs, and so I get to dress him up, so I get him cute little outfits. And you just see, like, a dog in a sweater running down the street. It would be funny.
I would have loved to have seen the look on people's faces as he was just like darting down. Because I've been on that route. I've ridden that route with Matt, Jax, and Chauncey, and you cross a couple of busy streets.
Oh my God.
To get from where he was going. So that's the first thing I thought when he said that he ran away from him was like, uh-oh. That's all I thought about was how many times that he stops me, because even when we're riding together and I'm visiting and I'm riding bikes with them. He would have me stay a little bit behind them because it messes with the dogs, to have, they don't know who to listen to. And it's like, hey, listen to him. I'm just here for the ride. So without that influence, without that type of training and stuff like that, I just think it's a good thing that he had the route drilled into him so much from just, from those guys riding around as much as they do.
They ride around. Let me tell you what. And my dog is like a problem dog. Like Matthew is like praised me on just like keeping him. like it's some kind of like, I don't know, ambitious goal to like even owning a dog like Chauncey. So if someone had a regular dog, who would? The things Matthew could do with them. He's done wonders with Chauncey. Today I rode my bike down to the park and around with my dog so obediently at my side. I mean, I slowed down a couple of times. I like dropped my glove and I had to like back up and get it. And he's just right. There was no tangling, no like him chasing squirrels. There were squirrels. He didn't care as much as he cared about just running and feeling that like pack moving forward at a speed that seems wolf-like, and he's into it. He just wants to be doing that. And to be able to do that with them and to have them be so obedient, it's just so much fun. I mean, it's raining and winter here, but I had a lovely bike ride because I was all proud of my dog, and yeah, it's really nice. It's really amazing what he's been able to do with them through. I mean, I'm sure it's been great effort. I just see them leave and come back. Occasionally, I've gone to videotape, but I should do it more.
Oh yeah, it's fun. I've been on a couple times too. Tell me a little bit about the $3 New Year's Eve party.
Oh, God. You told me. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Look, this is a testament to my terrible fashion choices. I am I'm mortified that this beautiful, sweet, kind woman. Oh, okay. So New Year's Eve, we're all working together, and Matthew Woods has the dogs too, and we're downtown Youngstown. And like I said, I had that experience when I first saw Chauncey with the thing and the army crawling in the ditch, and it was horrific. And this year I'd gotten medication for him because even if I had him at home, there's a knock at the door. Sorry. Even if I had him at home, right. XLR cables.
Oh, go ahead.
There's a lot of gunshots during New Year's Eve. So I got him. I thought it was going to knock him out, but it doesn't, I guess. It's some sort of like dopamine release thing.
Makes him a little more
medication. it makes him feel good, I guess. He did have a hangover from it. He seemed really off the next morning. He just wanted to lay under the covers. But that might have helped too, but also having Jax there, not freaking out. Jax was just tired, and Matthew Woods was there, so he rang in the new year with the dogs downtown, and it was all so lovely and nice. And then this woman who I started this story about walks over and offers me $3 because she thought I was homeless. That's the story. The story is that I appear to be a homeless person. And then I realized, like, how many people just, like, probably a lot of people think I'm homeless. And just this particular person was kind enough to reach out. Anyway, I have this army jacket. I work with the dogs, and then I have, like, outer pants, of course, and I've got my, you know, cap on. I thought my cap was cute, though. It has, like, I'll see if I can get a picture of the cap. Oh, you know what? I'll see if he's willing to do it. I will put my outfit that I was wearing, and they were jeans, too, like newish jeans, because I was working that night. I didn't want to look like a total slob like I normally would. I have to rethink my whole
I think
image.
it's nice. In the grand scheme of things, people make snap judgments and stuff like that. Yes, she made a snap judgment, but at least in that snapping, she came from a place of compassion. I think
I'm pretty sure she was rolling on ecstasy, so that might have influenced her compassion that evening. I think that's what was happening. But anyway, yes.
I choose to positively and say, you know what, we've been talking about attracting to ourselves. This just happens to be a way that money was attracted. It wasn't ideal, but it definitely was.
Oh, money's going to be pouring to Matthew Woods like manna from heaven, as it should. I mean, nobody else is out there, you know, literally peddling the concrete like him. So, yeah, I'm sure whatever you guys are doing great. It's so inspiring just to be around and to watch and to see. Like I took my first picture today at Wick Park. Planning on doing a time lapse. It should take a year. We'll see where I am next. Maybe we'll do a podcast again next year.
Yeah, I want to see the finished video. I want to see the finished video. Are you in it, or are you just taking the pictures of the park? Like, are you?
It'll be the video itself will just be the park, but when I do my show, then I'll be in it. But that's scheduled for, I don't even know what year that'll be. My 25.
Well,
2025.
Before we wrap up.
It's away. Okay.
Before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you one thing as it relates back to the thing that we're working on right now has to do with business planning and helping people get their business plans together so they can get their own companies and businesses started properly. And just in the way that you described initially what your goals, Chauncey, were and how they've been, do you have like goals for what videography? Like, do you have your goals for where you want your videography business to go? And do you have that all written down? Do you have a plan for it?
I should, right? Here's the thing. I've been so lucky with, my mom, basically, we already talked about that on the last podcast. And falling into it as I have, I don't think I fully appreciate, and I haven't really, if anything, I want to do my own creative projects and then use the things that I have to help. That's what I'm like more focused on than my business, which I should be focused on because I have competition that are wonderful. They're out there. Really salespeople, and they have great equipment, and they have techs, lots of techs. I'm like my tech, I don't know. So far, I've been able to keep maintaining this lifestyle of which I've become accustomed, which is the finest foods and the finest things imaginable, but I should be able to put a little away in case one day I can't do the work anymore. Yeah, you know what? I would love to consult with some sort of a company that would help me to put my business plan together so that I know that I at least have a little something put away for when if I make it to be some old lady.
Well, all I can say with regard to that is Matt likes to think big. I do also like to think big, but I also have no problem thinking smaller, because big doesn't necessarily mean, like huge and humongous. Thinking big to me can sometimes mean like what you're describing is putting together a business that works for you. You have a set number, or like you may not want 50 million people calling you all the time, but the people that call you, they know who you are, they know what you want. There's a steady flow of business where you're comfortable. You can refer out stuff you don't necessarily want to work on. But like having something like that, putting something in writing that can kind of help guide you to where you want to be, wherever you want to be, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think that's just only going to help you, move forward. And
I
I like
agree.
that. Other reasons we're trying to help do that.
I love this business plan that isn't all like try to take over the world. That seems like everybody's business plan. So what if it's just to be like,
yeah, it's not. It doesn't have to be take over the world. I mean, I definitely think you should aim for the, what do you call that? Aim for the stars, as much as you can. But if your star is, I want to be the best videographer, the most sought after videographer in Youngstown, that's an awesome place to be. That's an awesome position to be in. And who knows, by the time you get to that position where that's actually happening, life could be taking you in a whole different direction where things will change, and it'll be something that you want to move forward with. You may move out of one thing into something else, or evolve it into something better for yourself that makes you feel even better, because now that you have a plan, now that you have it written out, it makes it easier to adjust and to make, to kind of go with the flow of things because you have it all kind of planned out. Anyway,
look where you want to land. That whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, you have to know what it is you're going after in order to get it. I think throughout my life, even like unconscious decisions or whatever, like I've decided what I want my life to be like. And the fact that everyone does, and that it all kind of works together where everybody gets what they need at the same time in the same places. It's amazing.
I agree. I think this will be good for us for today. I appreciate you taking some time and talking with me after stories. with Chauncey
my
and
bad
everything.
dog. I love talking
cute.
about my dog.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Even from the last time I came to visit, we went over to the Urban Grove farm, and he's usually hanging around Matthew, and I kind of went off on my own, and he just went along with me. I just give off that vibe. He followed along with me and kind of see where I'm at, and
oh yeah,
like, okay, I'm ready to go.
right from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
I don't like to brag, but I really have a rapport with cats too.
Oh, that's
fell
really
asleep
something.
on my chest.
Oh.
Cat once fell asleep on my chest. I don't know that'll happen all the time, but I like, I give off a very chill vibe when it comes to animals. At least that's what I try to do.
That's a good vibe to give to everybody, human and everyone.
Amen to that. Well, anyway, thank you again, and we'll be talking soon.
Wonderful.